One second.
Okay.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome
Hey,
today.
everybody.
How's it going? The darkest sky is my mind. Ron, how's it going?
How you guys going?
Tyler. So how's everybody doing today? Guys, this is Carlos. Um, and this is Jax, my co-host. She'll be asking questions to you tonight. So, how's everybody's night tonight?
Mine's good except for the weather.
Mine's 80 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Florida, Carlos. Forget this crap. The other day it was 75 degrees and now it's snowing outside. I can't make up my mind. What are you going to do here? Telling
With
you.
that said, just we welcome you, but a lot of people need to learn how to drive before they come down here.
Right. Hey, Greg.
I mean, for the most part, we have nice weather, but now it's like there's snow on the ground.
Right.
At least you got to change the season.
I didn't order it. That's all I can say. I did not order it.
At least you got to change the season. We got hot, more hot, 3 days of cold, and then hot again.
Wow. Well, over here, it's cleared up a lot, but over in Texas, because we had a bad snowstorm and stuff like that. So I guess I heard there's more thunderstorms coming and rain, and I'm just like, what? Like tornadoes and stuff like that. I don't want to go through that. Hey, Nubs, what's going on, man? We'll just go ahead and start, guys. Carlos, did you want to introduce your channel and let us know what you do?
Carlos the Fam. I go to abandoned and haunted places, and I'm trying to investigate. What's up, Michigan man?
What inspired you to name your channel, Carlos?
Well, first of all, I had my first and last name when I first started, and I took that down because I really didn't want to get my last name out. I didn't want people popping up at my house. And then the fam, because I involved my family. You know? Plus, I was hanging out with James, hanging out with Omar.
Hey, Chris. How was that like when you started investigating with them? Like, did you catch anything right off the bat when you started investigating?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Jax, getting echo. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
We're getting echo. All right. Well, when I first started investigating, I didn't really do anything first. I just did some dumpster diving, some regular blogs, just to get my feet wet into editing and stuff, because I really didn't know anything about editing. And then the first time I ever did anything that caught anything was with Omar when I was in Pinhurst. He actually threw me in there like, here you go, let's go to a haunted place. It was the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh wow, nice. So what got you into the paranormal?
Omar did 1. 2, I've seen things when I was growing up as a kid, and I was thinking, at first I was like, it's just my imagination. I was a kid. Then when I went with Omar to do a couple investigations and I started actually catching things and seeing things, I got hooked. What up, Kill Hut?
What's up, Kill Hut? What's up, Cax? How's it going?
What's up, Cax? What up? Big Spoon.
So how do you pick your locations?
How do I pick my locations? Basically, I ask Omar if he has locations he thinks is good to go to. Also, my buddy Al, he does a lot of research. And so we go through all the locations that Al has looked up, or anything that Omar gave it to us, and looked up history, looked up what else has anybody else found there, got there, and then we go to the locations, which one we weed out what we want to do.
Okay, cool. Well, I know doing research on the property is important. Um, but now when you do the research on the property and stuff like that, is that pretty hard to
Um,
do?
a lot of it is. I mean, unless it's already been documented that it's been haunted already, or there's already been activity there.
Mhm.
That research, that stuff will actually come on, be brought up on the internet. Just simple. It's pulling up the property. What what has it been nicknamed or anything like that. Um, then you could look up on forums and usually Facebook groups and stuff like that. They'll talk about locations and they'll give insight on it, and then we could look it up and find out addresses and locations. And is it owned by someone that we need to contact to possibly rent the place out? A lot of times we get permission, and just because they're fascinated with it too. They're like, okay, yeah, go ahead. Or we've had people contact us and like, hey, can you come to my house and check out this?
Okay, fair enough. Um, like let's say when you get to the property, like what are what are certain expectations you guys have to follow when you get in the property and start investigating?
Um, Expectations like what? Like what we
Sort of
think we
like
should.
sort of like um a lot of the owners don't want you to use certain equipment to
Yeah, certain
amp,
people,
amp
a lot of times they don't want you to use the Ouija board. That's the number one thing. A lot of people do not want you to use the Ouija board because if there is something there and there is something there, it could be demonic. It could be open up more portals. You don't know what you're going to come across if you do use a Ouija board. And if you do come across something that's going to be aggressive or hurt you or even hurt the place, you really want to know what you got to do to shut it down and stop it. A lot of people forget when something happens like that, they turn around and forget to say goodbye. So when they don't say goodbye, you left that portal open. It's like a Jumanji. You got to finish the
oh
game.
yeah. Yeah. Hey everybody. Short Fire, how's it going? Amandine, how you doing? I know, it's kind of hard because like there's been a lot of whenever you investigate a location, there's been tons of investigators already been there and about and everything. How do you how do you feel like working with investigators?
I have no problem working with investigators because I like seeing what they've caught and what they've done, and that way I could somewhat see if I could get the same reaction, the same results.
Yeah.
And also a lot of I don't know it all. I mean, I'm always learning something new every day, and I've actually learned a lot of things from the fans actually telling me certain things that they think would be pretty cool to do on a video or into certain areas if you go to try certain things. And I've actually tried a lot of those things, and a lot of times they work, sometimes they don't. I mean, it depends on where you go. Remember, every investigation is different. You try to
And
manipulate the thing.
yeah, and the reason why I say that is because that too, and also like uh, there's been a lot of investigators that mess up the location by like vandalism or probably like making up like stories and I mean, and then when you go in there, there's really
Yeah.
nothing strange
Well,
about it. So
that's why you pick and choose what your information you're getting. And that's why we get so many locations. We actually look up and see what investigators have went there, who's done what have they caught, and then we weed out like, okay, this means a little bit. Sometimes things are way too crazy. You're like, nah, that can't be it. That can't be true. Or you're like, okay, that sounds legit. Let's go over there. There's been times that we went to places that people went to and they got tons of evidence and activity and stuff like that. We went there and nothing. So, a prime example, I went to Spring Hill Cemetery. We really didn't catch that much stuff going on in the Spring Hill Cemetery while we were recording there. We did hear screams in the distance when we were leaving. It sounded evil, but we left. But there was also I went back because I had dropped something, and I went back there, and it was actually Eric that I did his house, the Voodoo House. He was there recording, and he had a little car toy roll towards his feet.
wow.
I just left there not even 20 minutes ago, and then came back, and he had legit on video a little toy coming and hitting him in the feet, and he was in his foot, and he was just standing there, and he wasn't even nearing grade. You know what I'm saying? So for a toy to come up and hit, tap him in the feet, and he caught a lot of orbs that we didn't catch. Maybe it's the wrong time. Maybe just his presence, his orb brought stuff to him.
Yeah. When that happens, if something does happen like that, is there kind of like do you sometimes catch something rolling in the car? Like if you guys take pictures of it or something? Like has that ever happened? It's sort of like if someone it's just like when that car was rolling, the little tour car was rolling next to you guys. Like
it wasn't next to me, it was actually his foot.
His footage. Did he ever feel anything strange when he's seeing that? Like, did he,
Oh yeah, it freaked him out. It freaked him out a little bit, but he thought it was also interesting because there's something happened. He's been there 20 million times, and he says that he's caught noises or orbs, other kind of like a mist going through the graves and stuff like that, but never anything physical to actually touch him.
Oh wow, that's wild.
So, like I said, every investigation is different.
Yeah, and it's also like when you go in there, you're always not going to catch anything. It's always personal experiences as well. Have you ever had a personal experience before, and you got your spirit box and you communicated just to verify the personal experience?
Usually, whenever I pull out those spirit boxes, usually when I'm doing recording or anything like that. So, really, it's nothing that something happened. Well, no lie. Something happened here at the house, and my daughters convinced me to turn it on to see if we could speak to someone, and we actually spoke to someone. And it came out really clear. They didn't record it or anything like that. They were just asking questions. Was it good? Is it a child or something like that? And it answered back.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. But I didn't record it because it was in my house, and I really didn't want to do it, but I got convinced by my kids to do it.
Yeah. Did you get a weird feeling from it? Did you get like your hair standing up on your arm or smell?
No, I didn't get anything, feeling wise like that, like an empath. No, I didn't get anything like that. Sometimes when I'm sitting there and in my house alone in the dark editing, because I don't know why I do that, but I do, and I hear things sometimes. So I'm like, I just look around and I put it off as the AC turned on, the dogs did something. But really don't get up and try to look for something because it'd be scary to actually find something inside your house that you're sleeping in. So
wow, that's crazy. I mean, especially like if you see something in front of your face and like, oh damn, I don't got my camera near or I don't got my phone near, just like
that's usually happens. It happens. I've had recording before and did my outro and stopped recording, and the next thing you know, something happens and I turn my camera back on and I was like, I missed it. But someone else has caught it.
Yeah. So. I know you're telling me earlier about, I was really fascinated about this. You know how we always sleep with our feet at the door? Can you explain that sort of like?
Okay, so whenever you pass away or anything like that, you're put in the casket, you're carried out feet first through the door. When you're in the morgue, your feet are first at the door, pulled out. So a lot of times what I've read is said that the spirits think when you're sleeping that you're dead, and they grab you by your feet to pull you through the door.
Yeah.
Pull you out, take you out. So a lot of people say they get sore ankles or anything like sore feet or something like that. Is usually it's I've heard is that spirit has pulled on your leg to take you off the bed because they thought you were dead. That's why you don't sleep towards your feet towards the door, because then that eliminates that to happen. So you try to sleep away from your head towards the door, not your feet, or some way you manipulate your bed that the door is past your feet or before your feet.
Yeah. That's crazy because I mean I know I always have ankle problems and everything hurting and stuff, and maybe that's the reason why. Maybe I should sleep I did sleep one time with my head facing the door because it got cold during the winter storm in Texas, and because my window has like a big window, so I was sleeping. I had my hair pulled and everything else, and I was just like, ugh, it's just creepy. So I actually, changed it, and I was just like, wait a minute, okay, Here, how about this? Some rooms, whenever you enter, it's not always facing the door. Is that a bad thing then? Like
What? Bed?
let's say you leave you're laying next you're laying in your bed, and some rooms the door's not facing your feet, it's right next to your head.
Yeah,
Is that
right
a
next to
bad
your head.
thing?
I
Like,
think it might be a good thing.
yeah.
Mine is. My head's towards the door. It's right there, 2 feet away. Well, so I do that anyways because I have children, and anything happens, I'm the first to jump up and protect it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the equipment you use on your
Okay,
investigation.
so I got an EMF meter. I have my Spirit Box app. I have the SLS app. I also have my camera. Basically, I love my camera. And then what else? I'm going to invest into one of those Spirit Box AMF pumps that Josh Southern Afterlife has. I'm actually going to purchase one in the next month or so.
Hmm.
And it's pretty cool because you connect the app to it, or even a Spirit Box radio, you can connect it to it, and it has an EMF pump on it, so it intensifies it more.
Oh wow.
Hold on
Did you hear that noise?
Hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Eli, did you hear that noise? What noise did you hear? Hello. I just want to say hi to everybody. David, how's it going? Bad Rican,
Hey,
how's yours
everybody.
doing? See Michigan Man, sup? Salem V Paranormal. Hit me up with the email. I
I
know
was
we
going to
still have
say,
an
hit us up with
interest.
the email. We need an email.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll try to contact. I know you got rid of your Twitter, so I can't get a hold of you. Greg, what's up? Southcax, and good to see you here. I appreciate you coming. Eli sounds like I don't know who's echoing. I think it's Carlos. I think we'll check
It's
it out.
not me.
Sorry
I
about
don't
that.
hear anything on my end.
They say they're hearing an echo. Oh, not anymore.
Yeah, well, she's on her phone, so she can hear the echo. That's why.
Okay, hey, girly girl. Let's see. Okay. What do you think about What do you think about? What do you think about thermal imaging?
I thought it was pretty cool. I've seen that once before and stuff like that. I actually used a thermal camera when I went to the theater that I just put up a video out last weekend. It was actually pretty cool because you get hot spots and cold spots and stuff, and you can actually see if like something was sitting there. It was pretty cool. I'm actually later on, not right now because they get expensive, getting one.
That's cool. So let's first start before we get into more of this. How do you start your investigations? And let's start with that.
First things first. When we go in, like if we're a group of us, we go in, we look at the location. We check it out, make sure if we're supposed to be the only ones there, there's no one else there, and then we also find out hot spots in the house or the location where the tour guide or anybody gave us information about. We go there, we check that out, and then we pray before we start, and then we do. I usually like doing cinematic B-roll, doing that first, getting that out of the way, because B-roll is cool. I like B-roll, and then we go start our investigation. We'll go in and we'll start. What we're gonna do first is Spirit Box. We're gonna do the EMF pump. Josh is cool. Also, he has a Tesla coil that testifies the area. We'll set that up, and let that run for 20 minutes or so we can get some activity or some things going on happening. Give it energy.
All right, cool. How long does it take to set up your equipment?
Set up equipment, probably about 20, 30 minutes. Set up everything, where we want to do, where we're going to be at. Because you also try to tell a story too at the same time you're investigating. So
yeah,
so
that's
get a
pretty
little
cool. Sorry. Yeah, that's pretty cool with it when you guys like tell a story about like the property and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
very interesting because like a lot of investigators they just always shake their cameras and they don't keep it still. And um because
Well,
it's annoying.
you also got when you're recording, you got to look at the camera screen and make sure you're recording something high level. You're not facing down. You're not facing too much up and stuff like that. There's a lot of technique to it. Where to hold the camera, how to hold the camera. Um, I have a gimbal now, so my footage is most likely is going to start coming out more smoother looking because I'm going to start using the gimbal. And it takes out the vibration or anything like that. It keeps everything level.
Yeah.
Even if I fall over, it's going to stay straight.
Yeah, because it's pretty hard because you think about it like you're seeing through your camera or whatever you use and everything like because the whole place is pitch dark. Like
Yeah.
have you ever fell? Have you ever like bumped into somebody or
Oh yeah, no, I've actually. It was funny is that I had we went to one location and we were going to another location. I forgot what video was it that I actually showed the blooper at the end of the video. I actually was going to try to go across a little bridge. Well, that bridge was a little rotten, and I actually fell. And when I fell, there was water underneath it. I actually landed on a dry spot and kept my camera straight up because I didn't want to lose it. It's $1,300.
Yeah. Wow.
So I've actually fell and stuff like that and fell through something. A couple people have actually fell through because we're looking through the camera, making sure the camera footage is good. And we're really not looking around us. And when we step, something happens. That's what happens. I had a bruise on my hip and everything like that, like a week.
Wow. Right. I bet that must be scary though, man. Especially like using old floors and like especially if something scares you, especially
That's
like especially that and like especially like spider bites and everything. Do you have any protection for that? Like
oh no, you don't. No one has protection for spider bites.
well, no, somewhat like spot like let's say you get bitten by, like let's say you get hurt or something, like
I mean, I
um
can't. I have a first aid kit in my vehicle. Yes.
okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Well,
have a first aid kit.
yeah.
I do have protection on me, stuff like that. A lot of places I have it either in the car or myself. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why we also look at the place before we go in and do an investigation. We
Yeah.
scan the area, look it over. That way, we're not looking through the camera. We're actually looking, our eyes, and when we don't feel safe around a certain area to walk through, we'll designate that's not a good area to walk through, so don't go there.
Yeah, that's true. Because especially with old places like Victorian homes and stuff like that, you don't know
You'll
what's
fall right through the ceiling.
yeah,
You'll fall right
exactly.
through sometimes.
Because
The old
I know
wood.
I know a lot of investigators they pay to enter a place. Have you
Yes.
ever just seen like an old place and did some research on it and just go for it?
Well, no, we actually, you try not to do that because that's trespassing.
Yeah.
You try to get permission. Majority of the time, we do get permission. And a lot of times, we pay for locations to get into. Like the theater, we paid $350 for all three of us to go in there and actually spend 4 or 5 hours in there. Penhurst Asylum was $1,200. What else? The hospital they went to, that was another $400.
Yeah.
You try not to have too many people because then it'll be crowded and everybody's over talking each other. At the same time, you want to be able to split that between everybody too. So it becomes expensive. Like there's a prison over here that I'm going to be most likely going to is $90 per person, but you stay there overnight in the prison.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I would be like, I would like to just experience that. Just, to hear like, prisoners from the past talk or, moan and groan or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and they might just have a message for you. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you start hearing moans and groans, you get scared because you think it's something evil.
Yeah. What's up, Doris? How's it going? Hi, everybody. I'm Miss.
Doris.
So,
Rican.
so,
Sorry.
so tell me what types of places you investigated.
type of places I've investigated: prisons, asylums, cemeteries, uh, um, like houses that actually been like exorcisms at,
Oh wow, how did
places
that
that
go?
they
Like,
practice voodoo, abandoned places. Try not to anymore because I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah,
other than that, like you're talking about you don't want to get in trouble, but have you ever got chased out by cops or security guards?
no, I've been chased out by squatters before.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
But I've never been chased out by cops or anything.
Yeah,
Knock on wood.
especially like if you go to a property, like you gotta also look out. If you're gonna go to like one of those places that are abandoned and stuff like that, you also gotta watch out for the cameras and
Yeah.
security guards and blah blah blah, all that
Well,
other good stuff.
talking about abandoned places, like before when I first started, we would do research.
Mhm.
Sorry, I just looked at my CTV TV cams and I saw a figure walk by, but I didn't see it go by the other way.
Wow, it's crazy.
All right, sorry. I got camera system around the house. We a lot of abandoned places. Like if we find abandoned places, we usually look up and see who the owner is. When in the beginning, we look it up and see if it's bank owned. Not really anybody's gonna really jump at you and come at you and stuff like that. Anything's privately owned, yeah, you gotta watch out for that stuff, and you really try to stay away from that. If it's privately owned, contact them, ask them, hey, look, I'm doing a video for school or college or a report or this, that, and anything like that. I really don't try to tell them I'm doing it for paranormal because then they're like, oh no, I don't want that, or oh no, I want to be there. And once I've had someone be there and they just kept on talking and talking and talking, it really through this investigation, I really didn't put that out because they were talking so much.
Yeah.
I know they're enthusiasts, saying it was cool and everything, met someone cool, but it wasn't the ideal thing that I was trying to do.
Yeah, that's true. With that, have you ever like I know you were talking about like charged up places. Have you ever just before you just enter the doors, you could feel like the energy go through your body? Like, I mean, have you ever felt that?
Oh yeah. That was
It's
like I said, my first one was Pinhurst, and as soon as you walk into the door, you felt it. You actually smelt it too, because the place has been provided for investigations and stuff like that for a while now. And back in the days, there used to be feces and urine everywhere that the patients used to have to live with and stuff. And actually, when I walked in there, I smelled urine and I smelled feces, and there was nothing there. Everything was clean.
Oh wow, it's crazy because you think about like all the people that died in the past and stuff like that, like body odors, like
Oh yeah.
perfumes and cigarette smells and so on and
Oh
so
yeah.
on. I mean, um, have you ever had any of that? Like I was talking about, like I know you smelled stuff, but can you tell me what kind of stuff did you smell? I know you said you did, but have you ever had perfume smell and it went away a second later?
Yeah, I've been to places and it smells like death, and then you're there for 20 minutes and it's gone.
Wow, that's amazing. Especially if you go down to the morgue as well. Like, I
Yeah,
bet you experience a lot of heavy stuff there.
and a morgue, yeah, you do. I try not going into a morgue too much because it's way overwhelming sometimes.
Mm.
Like, there's actually a morgue here that we can actually go to. It's like $100 a night or something like that for a couple hours to go actually investigate there, and it's kind of creepy. I haven't done it yet. Omar's done it, but yeah.
Wow. Jax, you might be could throw down Carlos the Fam's link if you don't mind. I think a short fry wants his link. So I just want to say hi to everybody, before we continue the interview. You know what I mean? So um let's see who to miss. Um hello, Elkhart crew, how's it going? Um Tyler, how's everybody going? Let's see. Let's talk about spirits. What types of spirits have you seen, or especially black shadows? Like,
Yeah, like I said, I've seen a black shadow and caught a couple of them in a couple videos of mine. black shadows and stuff. A lot of times I've seen like white mist, a lot of orbs.
Oh,
A lot of
nice.
orbs and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of orbs pop up, and I actually try to identify them when I'm in my videos, trying to point them out.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog.
It's okay. Talking about orbs, I know a lot of people see like faces, feet, and everything else in them. Have you ever caught any of that in an orb?
Yes, I've actually caught faces and stuff.
Wow,
Sorry,
that's
I heard someone
amazing.
walk behind me.
That's pretty creepy. I just seen a little shadow, but yeah, it was just my eyes. Tell me about the witching hour. A lot of people say it amps up at night at 3 o'clock. But do you go ahead? I'm gonna switch you after that.
All right. So the witching hour. I mean, I've had so many different people say the witching hour is between 12 and 3, or 3 to 4. Or, I really don't know. I think personally, I've seen things more intensify between 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's my experiences and what I've seen and what I've experienced. It starts regardless. You're at night in a dark place that's supposed to be haunted. You're gonna get scared.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna get those feelings and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what's coming at you. You don't know what's going on.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know. Oh, sorry, go ahead. It's sort of like let's say you're in a pitch dark room, and you have your camera, you're walking around. Because the spirits are darker than dark. You know what I mean? You're gonna see one. You're gonna run into it. Because is that true? Like if you run into it, you'll feel a cold sensation, like when you pass through it.
Well, I've felt like you ever have the tingling feeling like you got spider webs on you or something like that.
Yeah,
that's what I felt before. I've also felt that, you get those, your hand falls asleep and it feels like ants crawling all through you and stuff like that. You ever had that before?
I felt that.
Like your limb will fall asleep and you get that sensation of that. I felt that on my body before, my whole body.
Wow. I felt it on my feet at night, knowing I can't, because I have foot drop and stuff like that after surgery. I'm after my first surgery, and I can't really feel my feet, but I can feel the pressure. But I could just feel like it's just really cold in between my. I don't know how I feel it, but I could just feel it.
I've had sleep paralysis once before, and felt like I couldn't move or anything like that. They say that's usually a spirit on top of you at the time whenever that's happening. So I've had that a couple times. Not lately. In the past, it's been like about 6-7 years since I've had that happen.
Wow. Well, mine happened like maybe like a couple weeks ago, because my dreams always come true and stuff like that. I have dreams like constantly, and it happens in the future or whatever. I have these weird feelings when it does happen. But when I want to give a message to a family member, and if they don't receive that message, it feels like something just holds me down in bed. And one time I woke up and like I seen like a black shadow just looking at me, and it went away. It just disappeared, and I'm just like, what is that? Like, I'm still kind of like, but I just go back to sleep. I don't let anything harm me because I know it can't harm me. I think it's just showing itself. Have you ever dealt with a spirit that is constantly in a loop when they die, and they're always reliving their death?
I came across anything like that.
No. Oh, you have? No. Okay.
But my thoughts about it is that they're probably just stuck over and over in that same loop because they have unfinished business.
Yeah. That's awful. So you're saying, well, here's what I say. Okay, I know so is it part of themselves that stays behind, but they're already moved on, the full self of them?
I just think their souls are stuck.
Wow. So in that mentality,
it could be something traumatizing. It could be something that they left behind, a loved one or something like that. They're stuck to it.
But let's say if I died in my computer, I'm not saying it will, but and let's say so I can't tell who's living in my room again. I'm just worried about myself. Like, could you think that they can never be helped by moving on to the next realm?
I think there is people out there that actually help. these spirits move on to a better place. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know how to do that. All I could do is pray for them and try to see if they do go move on to the side. But it was odd because one of the situations that happened with Josh, and we went to a cemetery. It was during the day, and Josh said that he was getting some activity on the spirit box, and the whatever came through communicated said the light, and he actually prayed and told it to go to the light, and next thing you know, it like a few seconds later, spirit box just went blank. There's nothing happening. Nothing was coming through. So he could have possibly helped something to get go to the other side. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like. A lot of times, a lot of places, whenever there is activity of spirits and you're doing an investigation, you're actually paying for it, they don't want you to do anything like that. They don't want you to use sage. They don't want you to help them get to the other side because they are benefiting from people coming to do investigations and being paid.
But I mean, wouldn't you want something out of your house though? Like, I mean, let's say I know that it's preventing them from getting paid, but as an owner, wouldn't you want it out of your house because it affects the kids? It affects the environment of your life.
I know, but this is up to them. It's their choice. You can't really tell them what to do.
That's true.
Same thing with religion. You can't tell people how to do their religion, what religion they use, or what they do. There's so many religions out there, so there's the freedom of choice.
Exactly. What do you think about mirrors?
Mirrors?
Yeah. Is it the portals? Yeah, that's what the portals.
I think they're
portals from another realm. Like, I mean,
yeah. I've seen so many videos of I don't know if they've been edited or anything like that, but I've seen little videos of people taking video and then the person turns around, but their image didn't turn around; it stayed there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I've seen, like you said, I've seen videos where the stain of the person stays on the mirror, like such and such. I mean, that must be pretty hard to actually just die like that and for it to just, the image just stay there on the mirror, your own self. Now, is that the spirit or is that just the image of the leftover spirit?
I don't know. I guess the image of the spirit. And then that brings you back to Bloody Mary. People do it in front of the mirror and she appears herself and stuff like that. So, and I actually do believe in that Bloody Mary because my sister had done some stuff whenever I was younger and mirror broke and she ended up getting 3 scratches on her leg and she was about 2 feet away from the mirror where it broke. So my sister would never, ever play that again, ever in her life.
Yeah, and you know what? I always want to try that because just like there's times where just like I'm gonna shut off this light. Let me see what happens.
No, but there's proper ways to do it too. There's proper ways to do it, and there's the wrong way to do it too. So you got to research the proper way how to do it. I've heard you got to light up a candle. You have a glass of water. You got to have this. You got there's a lot of things. You got to do a salt circle. There's a lot of things that people talk about. So who knows? Yeah. I'm not trying it.
Well, let me know. I mean, can you tell me a little bit about Santeria?
Well, Santeria. Okay, so Santeria. People, don't Spaniard and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't realize that Santeria actually is mixed with Christianity and Voodooism from Africa back in slavery days and stuff like that. The Spaniards actually brought the slaves over to the Caribbean, and then they sell them off to the United States. And a lot of that Christianity, Catholic, whatever religion mixed together, it becomes Santeria. That's why you have all these saints and stuff like that they actually worship to and actually do sacrifices for and everything like that. Why I know this because half my family, my mother's side practices Santeria, and my father's side is more of a Christianity Pentecostal. So I've lived in both households, so I've learned both of the Bible. I've read it numerous times, and then I've also seen and experienced things with my family on this side. I've seen sacrifices and stuff like that.
Wow.
Sacrifices of chickens, not sacrifices of humans. So just let that out right now.
well, I know the chicken because I was just reading that about the chickens and everything. But What's the most scariest things you've seen when you were a kid?
All right, so
Or
I've told the story plenty times on other times, but I'll explain it again. All right, so I was about say 8, 9, possibly 10 around there. I don't recall exactly. Where me and my brothers and sisters were all outside in the backyard playing around, while my mother, my stepfather, and his brother, and my aunt, and everybody inside doing rituals. They had brought up some chickens over. They were doing all that stuff. And next you know it, I see like it looked like eyes and up in the tree line because the back of the yard had like a tree line in the trees, and I see red eyes in the trees. And I'm like, okay, what's that? Asked my older sister that she's 5 years older than me. Hey, do you see that? And she turned around and said, yeah, what is that? And then as she says that, it jumps out of the tree, lands on the ground, is a big old black shadow, skinny and tall, red eyes. We take off running. I go to the front. We tell them what's going on. They all go out to the back. They tell us to stay inside. And all you hear was screaming, yelling, bangs. After it was all done, said and done, we're sitting there, all the kids all together in the living room, like curled up together, like what, scared. They come in and they're bloody nose, black eyes, this, that, hair all pulled everywhere. So they actually battled something. And later on in life, now that I realized it was actually a Slender Man.
Wow.
They were conjuring up something while they were doing the rituals. And then what's funny is that I tell my kids this a few years ago, and they were like, oh, I don't believe you. That's fake. And so I went over to my sister's house. I said, hey, do you remember this situation in the backyard? And she verbatim, word for word, explained exactly the same story I explained to my kids. And then their jaws dropped like, oh, God, I didn't even say anything to her.
Wow, that must be a spooky experience, especially
Oh, yeah.
when you're a kid. You know what I mean? That stays with you, you know. And
Oh, yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow, that is wild. It's just like I was seeing one of your videos about the a voodoo house that
Yes.
you investigated.
Yes.
Can you let us know what kind of personal experiences you had there?
Very heavy. As soon as you're in there for like a few minutes, stomach starts turning, getting queasy. I actually went pale a little bit there in that video because I had to take a breather. It was real heavy in the chest. One of the gentlemen that he actually stayed there, lived there, his father, get pulled off the bed. And every time I walked in that bedroom, I just felt like it was 1,000,000 pounds of weights on top of me when I was walking in that bedroom. I guess I'm an empath. I sense things. I didn't know what that's what it's called, but I feel things when I walk in and stuff like that. Sense of something was there. You get choked up, and I had to actually leave out of the house a couple times and go outside and get a breather before I went back in again.
That is wild. That is.
And cold chills down the spine of my neck.
Wow. I mean, especially like you're walking around in the dark. You know what I mean?
No,
like
you're
just like,
I
whoa,
did a couple
like,
times in there.
like I mean,
Jax, you're frozen.
I know her internet's just bad today. You know. Do you agree? Do you agree that if something with force flies at you, it's a demon? Because there's a lot of some investigators they say, oh my god, I seen this sofa move with force, like or something's thrown at me. Like, what do you think about that?
It could be, but at the same time, it could be something that wants you to get out of there, not happy with you being there. It could be a good spirit that just doesn't want you there, or is trying to protect you from something that actually is going to come and get you. So they do something to get you out of the way. I've had a lot of things, stuff happen, and then right after it's telling me to leave.
Wow.
So I think it's just basically almost like a warning. And sometimes you sit there and you ask for it to do it, and then it does it, and then you want to take off running. Why?
I honestly think that it's just God telling you, hey, you gotta. I mean, I don't know if you're religion or not, like, but I do think that stuff happens in in mysterious ways. You know what I mean? Like, and I know God's there to protect us. You know, especially me. I'm a Pentecostal. You know, I don't know. Are you a religious person?
Um, I believe in God. I do believe in like Jesus, the Holy Ghost, and stuff like that. I also know that there's stuff on the opposite side too. So
Yeah,
um, I guess you have to be a little bit religious in here because if you're looking for spirits or stuff like that, obviously you have to be somewhat religious. Either way, you know. Um, people ask me questions. Oh, do you believe in ghosts? I was like, well, do you believe in God?
exactly. I
And
mean,
they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, have you seen God? No. Have you seen a ghost? You still believe God's there, right?
exactly. Right. But you
Sorry,
think
a
about
little
it. I mean, God.
psychological.
Yeah, because you think about God, He created the earth. You know what I mean? Like, and He's not walking like us. You know what I mean? He's even that's something paranormal. You know what I mean? Because it's not on Earth where we can see Him. You
Mhm.
know. Yeah. So let's not get all into religion. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
we're
Like,
not trying to get religious, but
I'm
it's
not.
the
I'm
truth.
not.
I
Well,
mean,
I want to ask something about. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say the reason why I say that is because I know there's a lot of unreligious people. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Let's not bring that up, you know. But the reason why I asked that is because, like, do you believe you lived like you had a second life other than right now?
Reincarnation is what you're talking
Reincarnation,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Reincarnation. Um, I actually had this same question from Wacky Witch when she interviewed me. Um, Reincarnation. I think the light at the end of the tunnel is actually you being born again. If you say it like that, you've seen the lights from the hospital coming out of your mother.
Yeah,
You're crying
yeah,
because you just lost your past life.
yeah,
And deja vu's are like something you lived before.
yeah. I agree. I agree with
Because
that.
there's
I
also
mean,
been reports of children that said, "Oh yeah, I've lived this life before. This used to be my name," and they tell stories about their past life. And when people actually go look up the history, it's like, how's this 4-year-old or 5-year-old talking about this when this person died 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 50 years ago?
oh
They're
yeah,
not going to know this history. So it's kind of odd. It's weird.
exactly. Um, it's just like, many people are just like, you know, I just have a feeling I should be out in that open field, or I should just be like, like it's just like at least seen a lot of shows where kids are just like, oh, I remember that guy. Like I remember my name was such and such and such. I mean, that's wild, man. I mean, just even feel that like you belong somewhere else.
Yeah.
You had a different mom, and you know who she looked like. I mean, that's wild
Like
right there.
I sometimes feel like I should have been born in the 50s because I like the gangsters and this, that, and everything like that. And
Yeah,
that era, those clothes, I love that.
yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. But yeah, no, you know what I mean. Like, um, well, I believe I should be. I think I lived a long time ago because I felt like I was a farmhand guy, and I once loved a person that I died for. You know what I mean? Like, and it's pretty crazy, And I mean, it's crazy. I think that is that hey, what's up, Doris? How's it going, man? um, let's get to like the Estes method. Can you
Okay.
tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I was introduced to the Essence method by Omar and James. Basically, what it is that someone puts the headphones on with a blindfold. So
Hmm.
all you're doing is concentrating on what the Spirit Box app is actually saying, and you're supposed to repeat it. Now, at the same time, whoever else is with you, they're asking questions that you cannot hear because you have the headphones on, and only them or their camera can hear. And you try to see if the responses of the questions you are asking are lining up.
Yeah,
And my experience with it, both times that I've have done it and I've been a witness to it, a lot of the questions and the answers coming from that person with the headphones on and everything like that have lined up perfectly. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
And
I know I've seen that.
There's no way you can manipulate it. You got to think about Spirit Box app or even the Spirit Box. It's going scanning through radio stations at 120 to 160 beats per second. There's no way you could freaking manipulate every station it's flying through and grab one letter from each station and make a word.
Exactly.
You know that's how it works, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So
for it to grab a letter from every syllable or anything like that from every station to actually make a word, it's incredible itself. So there's no way you can actually input anything and actually make it say anything.
Exactly. Wow. That is why I was just thinking about that yesterday. I was just like, I don't think I could ever go through that, especially sitting in the dark room as it is, you know.
Well, at the same time, you got to be careful because a lot of people go into a trance hearing while they're doing it. That's why you're doing it on a short amount of times. A lot of people do it 5 minutes at a time. There's been people that have actually came home and got sick and been sick for days after doing it.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
That is wild. That is wild. I mean, how long did that experience last? Like, well, I mean,
I felt like I was in like a trance. Whenever I got out of it, I felt flustered. I was pale. I was like out of it. I didn't, it was like, I knew I was there, but I was like out of it a little bit. Like it was like a fogginess. It took me a little bit, about 5-10 minutes after I did it to actually come out of that kind of trance a little bit.
Exactly. What do you think about the Randonautica app?
Randonautica? It's crazy. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it's not true, this, that. Well, every one of them we've done an intuition or anything like that, or thought about something, and it's brought us straight to what we were thinking of. I like the one I did with Omar and James and Chelsea. I thought about an angel. Boom, we came 2 blocks over, and there was an angel statue. And I was thinking, most likely it'll bring us to a church. And 2 blocks over from there was a church. So it's kind of odd. And then when we were going through Chelsea's intuition, she was thinking bunnies. And we went around a block, and we got to a dead end, and we were actually going back the other way. And Omar said, oh, look at the bunnies. And Chelsea freaked out. That was like her first time ever doing Randonautica. To experience it and to actually that happened, she freaked out and almost started crying because she was a skeptic at first too. I mean, for that. So when she experienced it, she saw it. It was very intense.
Yeah, I bet it was. I mean, actually, just see that. Like I would have been like, what the hell?
I did one with my wife. So it brought us to an abandoned location. By a cemetery. I went out there, checked it out. I was like, whoa, it was a dead end street. Next thing you know, I hear whistling. Whenever I go and edit, I notice the whistling. I intensified the sound just to make sure it was that. And someone had told me that what was it? Gremlins or not Gremlins? Trying to think of what it is. That's how they identified to start telling the other gremlins or whatever it is to attack.
Yeah,
by whistling.
Wow,
and I didn't even know that.
That was wild.
My wife actually locked me out of the car. She actually locked me out of the car at that time too. So.
Oh, hell no, I would have too. Oh man, I don't think I would ever want to play that because you don't even know what you're gonna find, especially in the a dumpster diving. I know you want to tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, dumpster diving, those are fun. Dumpster diving, you know what? Never know what you're gonna get. You might come across raccoons or possums in there, or even snakes sometimes, especially here in Florida.
Have you ever took anything home from there? Like, have you ever found something cool?
No, never took anything home. It wasn't nothing interesting. I mean, you found things, you found toys and things like that. I've never really took anything home. That was just the experience in doing it. You know, that was
it's just a smell, and it's just like
some smell awful, and some look awful. Some don't smell like anything at all.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I wouldn't do. I don't think I could have done that. Like, I couldn't even get out of a dumpster. It's so deep. You know
I'm
what
not
I
gonna get
mean?
in
Like,
one. I'm not gonna get in one. I'll poke around with a stick or something like that about getting
got
in.
caught. Yeah, you were like, I don't want to see a rat. Oh my god, I don't want to see a cockroach. You know what I mean? Like, Uncle Bob. You know what I mean? You know, like, you know, I mean, nah, man. I'm just saying because, like, I was just thinking about that. I watched a couple of your videos and I was just like, no. You don't even know if the cops are gonna show up, and because I've seen your face expression a couple of times, and like, I mean, isn't it like the worry of cops showing up? Because in some states it's against the law.
Some states it's against the laws. You just got to read up on the laws and see what what you can do and what you can't do. In Florida, there's no law against it. Once you throw it out in the trash, it's public property. Anybody could go in and look at it.
Okay. Killer said, "I'll hop on the dumpster. I'll hop in the dumpster. Might be some good stuff at the bottom." I'm like, no way, I couldn't do that. I'll be like, um, let's get back to paranormal. Have you ever offered like a offering to spirits to calm down um the the paranormal experience anywhere?
No,
No. Okay.
no. I know I left a doll at a gravesite, for a little girl,
Yeah.
and I
Oh
got
wow.
help for it because the doll when I found the doll, and the
Exactly.
EMF meter went off, so they yelled at me for leaving a haunted doll at a little girl's gravesite, but the doll that was there already was taken away, so I put another doll in its place.
Wow. That is wild. Like, I mean, and like I don't blame them, but I know you didn't do it. You did it by accident. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't do it with malicious intentions. It was,
yeah, of
you
course,
know,
yeah, it just happens. um, have you ever took anything home from a location, from any location? Like, I'm talking about like I know I'm not where you pay to enter. I'm talking about like you try not to go to abandoned locations. That's what I meant. Like, have you ever seen anything you're like, oh, that looks pretty cool, and take it home and it's haunted? Like
no,
attachments.
I'm not. No, I don't really try to take anything or anything like that. I leave everything where it's at. I don't try to, bring anything haunted or anything like that from the house, from anywhere I go. That just brings bad juju to your home. To your home.
Exactly. Hey Jackson, you mind if we could drop Carlos links and all the links if you don't mind? I appreciate it. Um, so do you think spirits can travel on the internet, like
Yeah,
through the web?
I think so. They get attached to people and they come following them home and they come home with them. They're
Yeah.
traveling.
How do you get rid of attachments? I know you probably had them
Um,
before.
well, I've what I've read up on. I've put on a Renaissance, Spanish Renaissance of Christianity, saying the prayers and stuff. Put that sage, holy water, and just praying and telling it has to leave.
Oh, that's cool. Have you ever kept anything haunted but closed up?
No, no, I don't accept anything haunted. I don't take anything haunted. I try not purchasing anything haunted. The doll was just I was messing around and saw it went off, and I was like, okay, let's take it. Let's see what's happening. But I purchased the doll at the location, so who knows?
You never know. Do you use drones on your property?
I do have a drone. So I've done some videotaping with the drones. The drone I have is not really that good. I'm waiting to save up some money to get a better drone because then that will do aerial shots of locations.
That's cool. I know because a lot of investigators they use it just to make the intro of the video, make it look cool and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's why I asked.
that's B-roll. It's B-roll.
Yeah, video, yeah, yeah. I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say I'm going to have to possibly get done with this because I have to go finish my editing and I have to get that video out tonight. It's already 8:00 tonight here.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're about to finish up anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. So what for the final question? What is one thing you have for the smaller investigations to look out for?
To look out for?
Yeah.
don't just take one person's word for the location being haunted or there's activity there. Do your research, look up the place, make sure you get permission. Don't ever go into any place trespassing with any weapons or anything like that, because that's a federal a felony. So just be careful with all that. Have fun and enjoy your time. Just have fun doing it. If you're not having fun, you're not going to have a good investigation.
There you go, guys. Thanks for coming up, Carlos. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Everybody in the chat, I'm sorry I didn't say hi to many of everybody, but hi, everyone. Make sure you guys check out the video later on coming out, probably about a couple hours now. All right?
Okay. That's cool. Thank you.
No
Guys,
problem. Thank you.
I'll probably start a new live streams there if anyone wants to come up. So we're just going to end this one here. And I appreciate it, Carlos. And thank you guys for supporting Carlos. And thank you for being a part of this journey. And I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Stay
Bye,
positive, guys. Bye, everybody.